Believe when nobody else does. Those words carry a power that separates ordinary lives from extraordinary ones. It is easy to believe in yourself when others support you, when people clap for you, when everyone around you says you can do it. But the true test of belief comes in silence, when the world doubts you, when people laugh at your dreams, when your own friends and family cannot see the vision burning inside you. In those moments, belief becomes more than confidence. It becomes survival. It becomes fuel. It becomes the light that carries you through the darkest nights. The greatest stories in history are not written about those who were believed in from the beginning. They are written about those who kept believing in themselves when nobody else did. When a young Cristiano Ronaldo left his small island of Madeira, few people thought he could rise to the top of world football. He was too skinny, too emotional, too raw. Logic said he would fail. Critics said he would not last. Even coaches and teammates doubted him, but he believed when nobody else did. He worked, sacrificed, cried, fell, got back up, and pushed through the storms of doubt. That belief, repeated day after day, transformed him into one of the greatest players in history. His story is not just about football. It is about the unshakable belief in oneself when the world refuses to believe. Believing when nobody else does is not arrogance. It is courage. Arrogance says, I am better than everyone. Belief says, I will not quit until I prove myself. Arrogance is loud, but belief can be quiet. It is the steady voice in your heart that says, keep going, even when the evidence is against you. That voice becomes your greatest weapon because the truth is, most people stop chasing their dreams not because they lack talent, but because they lose belief. They give up when nobody else believes in them, instead of holding on long enough to prove the world wrong. The path of self-belief is lonely. When you chase a dream bigger than yourself, people will question you. They will tell you to be realistic, to lower your expectations, to settle for less. Sometimes they do this out of concern, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of jealousy. But if you let their doubts become your truth, you will never see how far you could have gone. Believing when nobody else does means choosing your vision over their opinion. It means saying, I know what I carry inside me, and I will fight for it, even if I must fight alone. This belief is not blind hope. It is backed by action. To believe when nobody else does means you work twice as hard. You sacrifice more. You stay consistent when others quit. You cannot simply say you believe. You must prove it to yourself through your effort. Every time you push forward in the face of doubt, you strengthen your belief. Every time you deliver results when people expected failure, your belief grows stronger, and slowly the world begins to see what you saw all along. The same people who doubted you will one day call you unstoppable, but there is a reason most people never reach this point. The loneliness is heavy, and the journey is brutal. You will face nights when you question yourself, mornings when you want to give up, and moments when the dream feels impossible. In those times, belief becomes your anchor. You remind yourself why you started, what you are chasing, and what it will feel like to succeed. That picture in your mind, that fire in your soul, must be stronger than the voices of doubt outside you. Believing when nobody else does also teaches resilience. Every rejection, every failure, every laugh in your face becomes part of your training. Instead of breaking you, it sharpens you. You learn to stop needing validation. You stop waiting for approval. You realize that greatness has never been achieved by consensus. It has always been achieved by persistence. The inventors, the artists, the athletes, the leaders who changed the world all shared this one trait. They believed when nobody else did. Think about Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Think about Michael Jordan, who was cut from his high school basketball team. Think about Ronaldo, who left his family at a young age to chase a dream that made no sense to many people. All of them faced doubt. All of them faced critics, but they believed anyway. That belief was not naive, it was powerful. It gave them the strength to keep going long enough for the world to finally see what they had seen all along. When you believe when nobody else does, you take control of your destiny. You are no longer a prisoner of opinions. You no longer need the applause to keep moving. You are free to pursue your vision relentlessly because your belief is enough. That freedom is priceless. It allows you to dream bigger, work harder, and push further than the average person. It gives you the courage to be misunderstood today, knowing you will be celebrated tomorrow. The truth is, people will always doubt what they cannot see. If they have never walked your path, they will not understand your vision, and that is okay, because your dream was not given to them, it was given to you. They do not need to believe it, you do. Their doubt is not your problem, your lack of belief would be. The beautiful thing is that one day, if you stay consistent, if you sacrifice, if you keep working with unshakable faith, the same people who laughed at you will respect you. The same ones who doubted you will admire you. The same ones who said you could not will tell your story as proof that it can be done. But none of that will matter as much as the quiet knowledge inside you, that you believed when nobody else did, and that belief carried you to places you once only dreamed of. So believe when nobody else does. Believe when the scoreboard is against you. Believe when your bank account is empty. Believe when your body is tired. Believe when the crowd goes silent. Believe when even your closest people say it is impossible. Because in the end, it is not their belief that will make your dream real, it is yours. One day, your belief will be the reason you rise, the reason you achieve, the reason you inspire others to believe too. And when that day comes, you will understand the truth that every champion knows. The world only believes after you succeed, but success only comes because you believed before anyone else did. Talent is nothing without work. The world is full of people with natural gifts, people who are born faster, stronger, smarter, or more creative than others. But history proves that talent alone never guarantees success. Talent is potential, not destiny. Without work, talent becomes wasted. Without work, talent is forgotten. Without work, talent fades into mediocrity. What separates the good from the great, the dreamers from the doers, the talented from the legendary, is not the gift they were born with. It is the effort they put in every single day. It is easy to admire talent. People love to watch a child who can play the piano effortlessly, a young athlete who runs faster than anyone else, or a student who learns quicker than the rest. But those moments of admiration often hide a dangerous truth. Talent is only the starting point. The road to greatness is long and brutal, and only those willing to work relentlessly can walk it. Talent might open the first door, but hard work is what keeps you inside the room. Without hard work, talent eventually meets someone less gifted, but more disciplined, and loses. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the best examples of this truth. From the beginning, he had talent, speed, skill, and a love for football. But talent alone would not have taken him from the small island of Madeira to the top of world football. What made the difference was his work. While others were satisfied with being good, Ronaldo pushed himself to be the best. He trained longer, practiced harder, cared for his body with more discipline, and refused to stop improving. His teammates have often said that even after practice ended, he stayed on the pitch to perfect his free kicks or in the gym to build his strength. That relentless work, repeated over years, turned his natural talent into greatness. Without that work, his talent would have been just another story of potential never realized. Talent is like a seed. It holds the possibility of becoming something great, but without the right care it remains buried. Work is the water, the sunlight, and the time that allow the seed to grow. Some people are born with bigger seeds than others, but a small seed that is nourished with daily effort will always grow taller than a large seed that is neglected. This is why the world is filled with stories of naturally gifted people who never achieved anything remarkable, and less gifted people who worked so hard that they created greatness out of persistence. Hard work gives life to talent because it builds consistency. A talented person who trains once in a while cannot compete with a less talented person who trains every day. Over time, consistency beats flashes of brilliance. That is why coaches, teachers, and leaders always value effort more than natural ability. They know talent without work is unreliable, but effort without talent is unstoppable. Effort creates habits, and habits create results. Talent without work is also dangerous because it creates arrogance. When someone is told from a young age that they are gifted, they may start to believe that success will come easily. They may think they do not need to push themselves, that their natural ability will carry them forward. But the world is filled with other talented people, and the competition is relentless. The moment arrogance replaces effort, talent begins to decline. Meanwhile, the worker, the one who never stops improving, continues to rise. By the time the talented person realizes their mistake, it is often too late. Hard work, on the other hand, creates humility. It teaches you to respect the process, to value every step, to understand that nothing is given for free. When you work for your success, you own it. You know it was not luck, not favoritism, not chance. It was your sweat, your sacrifice, your persistence. That kind of success lasts longer because it is built on a strong foundation. Talent might give you a head start, but hard work is what carries you to the finish line. Think about the athletes who dominate their sports. They are not only talented, they are obsessed with work. Kobe Bryant was famous for training at 4 a.m. long before his teammates woke up. Michael Jordan, even after being cut from his high school team, worked harder than anyone to come back stronger. Serena Williams practiced endlessly, even after achieving success. And Ronaldo, year after year, has shown the same hunger for improvement. These legends understood that talent could take them only so far. Work was the real secret to staying at the top. Talent without work also dies in the face of pressure. When challenges come, when failure strikes, when criticism arrives, talent alone cannot survive. Work, discipline, and consistency are what give you resilience. A talented person who never learned to struggle may collapse under pressure. But someone who has worked hard, who has fought for every step, who has endured pain and sacrifice, has built the toughness to keep going. Hard work builds character, and character outlasts talent. Many people make the mistake of waiting for the perfect moment to use their talent. They wait for opportunities, for recognition, for someone to discover them. But opportunities come only to those who are ready, and readiness is created through work. If you are talented but unprepared, opportunities will pass you by. But if you are constantly working, constantly sharpening your skills, you will be ready when the moment comes. Success does not come to the most talented. It comes to the most prepared. Hard work also multiplies talent. A talented person who works doubles their ability. They become not only skilled but unstoppable. Work adds new layers to talent: discipline, focus, confidence, and consistency. Without work, talent is just potential. With work, talent becomes mastery. That mastery is what separates the good from the great, the admired from the immortal. The truth is, talent is not fair. Some people are born with more of it, some with less, but work is fair. Work is the great equalizer. Anyone can choose to work harder, to push further, to be more consistent. And in the end, work always wins. That is why so many talented people are forgotten, while hard workers leave a legacy. It is not about what you are given, it is about what you do with it. Ronaldo himself has said that talent is not enough, that without dedication and hard work, you cannot achieve greatness. His career is proof of that truth. He was not the most talented player to ever touch a ball, but he worked in a way that few could match. He squeezed every drop of potential out of his body through relentless effort. That is why, even in his late 30s, he continues to compete at the highest level. His talent did not make him unstoppable, his work did. So talent is nothing without work. If you have a gift, honor it by working for it. If you have a dream, fuel it with effort. If you have potential, develop it with discipline. Do not waste what you have been given by waiting for success to find you. Go after it with relentless determination. Let your work speak louder than your talent. Let your consistency outshine your gift. One day the world will recognize your talent, but only because they see the work behind it. They will admire your skill, but they will respect your effort. And when they ask you the secret to your success, you will know the truth. Talent gave you the possibility, but work gave you the reality. Talent was your starting point, but work was your destiny. Talent is nothing without work. Work turns dreams into reality, potential into greatness, and ordinary people into legends. Never forget that sacrifice is the price of greatness. Every person who has ever reached the highest level in any field has paid a cost, often a heavy one, to stand where others only dream of standing. Greatness is never free. It demands time, effort, energy, and often the things most people are unwilling to give up. The road to greatness is paved with long nights, early mornings, missed celebrations, moments of loneliness, and endless hours of hard work. To think you can achieve greatness without sacrifice is to believe in a myth. Nothing extraordinary is built on comfort alone. From the outside, people often admire the rewards of greatness. They see the trophies, the medals, the fame, the wealth, the respect. But what they do not see are the sacrifices made behind the scenes. They do not see the birthdays missed, the family gatherings skipped, the friendships lost, or the countless hours of training while others slept. Greatness is glamorous on the stage, but it is brutal in the making. The truth is simple. If you are not willing to sacrifice, you are not truly serious about becoming great. Cristiano Ronaldo's journey is one of the clearest examples of this truth. As a boy from Madeira, he left his family at just 12 years old to move to Lisbon and chase his dream of becoming a professional footballer. That meant sacrificing his childhood, the comfort of his home, the love of his parents and siblings, and the simple joys most kids take for granted. He faced loneliness, tears, and countless obstacles, but he never turned back. That sacrifice laid the foundation for the man he became. Even after he achieved success, the sacrifices did not stop. While his peers enjoyed late nights out, Ronaldo was in bed early to recover for training. While others indulged in unhealthy food, he disciplined himself with strict nutrition. While many footballers were content with being good, he sacrificed comfort to push his body and mind to the next level. The greatness the world admires in him today was built on years of sacrifices most people could not endure. Sacrifice is powerful because it forces you to choose what matters most. When you sacrifice, you are saying, "This dream is worth more than that comfort. This vision is worth more than that distraction. This goal is worth more than that temporary pleasure." In a world where most people want everything without giving anything up, sacrifice separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. It is easy to say you want success, but it is hard to wake up at 5 a.m. to train while others sleep. It is easy to say you want to be great, but it is hard to skip the parties, the vacations, and the easy pleasures to focus on your craft. Sacrifice is proof of how much you really want something. The beauty of sacrifice is that it transforms you. Every time you give something up for your dream, you become stronger, more focused, more disciplined. Sacrifice sharpens your mind and toughens your spirit. It teaches you that greatness is not just about talent, it is about commitment. Many people with talent never reach greatness because they are not willing to pay the price. They want the rewards without the cost. But those who embrace sacrifice, who are willing to endure discomfort, are the ones who rise above. Sacrifice also teaches patience. In a world obsessed with quick results and instant gratification, sacrifice reminds you that the best things take time. You cannot achieve greatness overnight. You must be willing to sacrifice comfort today for success tomorrow. Ronaldo's career is a perfect example of this. Year after year, he maintained discipline, making sacrifices season after season, knowing that true greatness is not built in a day, but over decades of consistency. His longevity is no accident. It is the result of countless sacrifices most people never see. Another truth about sacrifice is that it isolates you. When you choose to sacrifice, not everyone will understand. Friends may laugh at you. Family may question your decisions. Society may call you obsessed, But greatness requires walking a path few are willing to walk. It is a lonely journey, and that loneliness is part of the price. But in that solitude, you find your strength. You learn to depend on yourself. You realize that greatness does not come from pleasing others, but from pursuing your vision relentlessly. Sacrifice also builds gratitude. When you work hard and give up so much, you appreciate your achievements more deeply. Every victory becomes sweeter because you know what it cost you. Every trophy, every milestone, every breakthrough carries the weight of your sacrifices. That is why champions often cry when they win. The tears are not just for the victory. They are for the years of sacrifice that led to that moment. The world sees the glory, but they feel the story behind it. It is important to understand that sacrifice does not mean misery. It means prioritizing. It means choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. Sacrifice is not punishment. It is an investment. Every time you sacrifice, you are investing in your future self. You are building the foundation for a life of greatness. The pain of sacrifice is temporary, but the rewards are lasting. The comfort you give up today is nothing compared to the fulfillment of achieving something extraordinary tomorrow. But here is the painful truth. Most people are not willing to sacrifice. They want greatness without giving up their habits, their comfort, or their distractions. They want to be champions without training like champions. They want the results without the discipline. That is why greatness is rare. It belongs only to those who are willing to pay the price. The higher the level of greatness, the higher the cost. That is the law of life. Sacrifice is also a test of how badly you want something. When you face the choice between comfort and your dream, what do you choose? When you are tired, do you rest or do you train? When your friends invite you out, do you go or do you study? When you have money, do you spend it on temporary pleasures or invest it in your growth? Your answers to these questions reveal whether you are truly committed to greatness or just pretending. Sacrifice exposes the truth. Ronaldo has said many times that without sacrifice there is no success. He knew early in his career that he had to live differently from others if he wanted to achieve what no one else could. That meant sacrificing sleep, food, time, comfort, and even relationships. But look at what those sacrifices gave him. 5 Ballon d'Or trophies, countless records, a legacy that will last forever. His life is living proof that sacrifice is the price of greatness. So the question is, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to give up the distractions that waste your time? Are you willing to skip the pleasures that steal your focus? Are you willing to endure the loneliness of chasing a dream that others cannot see? If the answer is yes, then greatness is within your reach. But if the answer is no, then greatness will remain a dream. In the end, greatness is not about luck, talent, or even opportunity. It is about sacrifice. It is about giving up what is easy for what is meaningful. It is about paying the price that others refuse to pay. It is about choosing discomfort today so you can live with pride tomorrow. Sacrifice is not a burden, it is the path. And though it is hard, though it is lonely, though it is painful, it leads to a life that very few people ever experience. Sacrifice is the price of greatness. Pay it willingly, pay it fully, and one day when the world admires your success, you will know the truth. Every sacrifice was worth it. Obstacles are fuel, not excuses. Life is filled with difficulties, setbacks, and challenges that test your strength and determination. Everyone, no matter how talented or privileged, will face moments where the road becomes heavy and the dream feels distant. What separates those who rise from those who fall is not whether they face obstacles, but how they respond to them. Many people see obstacles as reasons to quit, as excuses to step back, as proof that success is not meant for them. But champions see obstacles differently. They see them as energy, as lessons, as stepping stones that sharpen their will and build their character. The very thing that makes others give up becomes the reason they push forward. When Cristiano Ronaldo was a boy, he did not grow up with comfort or wealth. He lived on a small island far away from the spotlight of football. At 12 years old, he left home, leaving his family behind, to chase a dream that seemed impossible. He cried at night, he struggled with loneliness, he battled doubts. He could have used those obstacles as excuses to return home and live a normal life. But he did not. He treated every tear, every moment of pain, every doubt as fuel. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," he said, "This is why I must succeed." That mindset transformed obstacles into fuel and pushed him to build a career that inspired the world. Obstacles have a way of revealing who you really are. They strip away the comfort, the easy confidence, and the surface-level motivation. They leave you with two choices: give up or grow stronger. Those who make excuses shrink when difficulties appear. They say, "I could have been great if only I had the opportunity." They live their lives blaming circumstances. But those who treat obstacles as fuel rise above. They say, "Because I faced this difficulty, I will become stronger. Because I was challenged, I will be sharper. Because I was tested, I will be tougher." They refuse to let circumstances define them. Instead, they use those circumstances as a reason to become unshakable. Obstacles are fuel because they force growth. No one grows in comfort. Growth only comes when you are pushed out of your limits, when you face resistance, when you are forced to adapt. Just as muscles only grow when you break them down through training, the spirit only grows when life breaks you down through obstacles. Every difficulty is training for your character. Every setback is an opportunity to become more resilient. Every failure is a lesson that prepares you for the next step. If you embrace obstacles as fuel, you discover that each one is secretly a gift. The truth is, obstacles are inevitable. You cannot avoid them, no matter how careful or talented you are. Injuries happen, opportunities slip away, people doubt you, and circumstances turn against you. If you use these as excuses, you will stop moving forward. But if you use them as fuel, nothing can stop you. Every no you hear, every rejection you face, every door that closes becomes another spark to ignite your determination. You stop waiting for the path to be easy, and instead you train yourself to be strong enough to handle the hard path. That is the mindset of greatness. Look at the stories of every successful person, and you will find obstacles. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Serena Williams faced injuries and setbacks that could have ended her career. Ronaldo had health issues as a boy and was told he was too skinny to make it at the top level. None of these people used their obstacles as excuses. They turned them into motivation. They said, "This challenge is not the end. It is the reason I will push harder." That is why their names are remembered. Obstacles also teach humility. They remind you that the path to greatness is not smooth or guaranteed. They keep you grounded and hungry. If everything came easily, success would feel meaningless. It is the obstacles that give success its value. When you finally achieve something after overcoming countless challenges, the victory tastes sweeter because you know what it cost you. You know the nights of doubt, the moments of pain, the struggles you endured. Without obstacles, there is no story. With obstacles, every triumph becomes a legend. Excuses, on the other hand, kill dreams. The moment you use an obstacle as an excuse, you hand over your power. You allow circumstances to control your destiny. You tell yourself that you could not succeed because life was unfair, because others had more, because the road was too hard. But the truth is, life is unfair to everyone. Everyone faces difficulties. The difference lies in perspective. While one person gives up, another uses the same obstacle as fire to push harder. The obstacle itself does not decide your future. Your response does. Obstacles are also opportunities to inspire others. When people see someone rise above hardship, they are moved. They see proof that excuses are weak, that strength is possible. Ronaldo inspires millions not just because of his goals, but because of the obstacles he overcame. His story tells every child who struggles, "If I could rise from nothing, so can you." Your obstacles, too, can become your testimony. They can become the reason others believe in themselves. When you refuse to make excuses, you show others what is possible. The process of turning obstacles into fuel requires mindset. You must train yourself to see difficulties as gifts, not curses. Instead of saying, "Why me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of saying, "I can't because of this obstacle," say, "I will succeed because of this obstacle." That shift changes everything. It gives you control. It transforms setbacks into motivation. It keeps you moving forward when others stop. It also requires patience. Fuel is not created instantly. Sometimes an obstacle feels heavy, and it takes time to see how it strengthens you. But if you keep going, you will look back and realize that the very thing that once felt like a burden was actually a blessing. The pain built your endurance, the rejection redirected you to a better path, the failure taught you lessons that prepared you for bigger success. Every obstacle you survived becomes part of your power. When you embrace obstacles as fuel, life's difficulties stop being enemies. They become allies. They push you harder. They force you to be sharper. They remind you of your hunger. They keep you from becoming lazy or complacent. They are proof that you are on the right path, because if your dream were easy, it would not be worth chasing. Obstacles mean you are aiming high, pushing limits, and pursuing something extraordinary. In the end, greatness is not about avoiding obstacles. It is about mastering them. It is about refusing to let them stop you. It is about transforming them into energy that drives you further than you thought possible. Ronaldo would not be who he is today without the obstacles he faced. Neither would any champion in history. The obstacles were not excuses, they were fuel. So the next time you face a challenge, do not look for a reason to quit. Look for the reason to push harder. Do not say, "This obstacle is stopping me." Say, "This obstacle is building me." Use the pain, the doubt, the rejection, the failure as fire in your soul. Let it drive you to train harder, to focus deeper, to work longer. Let it remind you of how much your dream matters. Obstacles are fuel, not excuses. They are the raw material from which greatness is built. Treat them that way, and nothing can stop you. Consistency creates legacy. It is not the flashes of brilliance, not the rare moments of greatness, not the one-time victories that define how history remembers someone. What builds a legacy is what you do day after day, year after year, long after the spotlight fades. Consistency is the quiet force behind greatness. It is not glamorous, it is not always exciting, but it is unstoppable. Anyone can have a good day, but only those who show up relentlessly, without excuse, without pause, create something that outlives them. Legacy is not built in a single moment. It is built in thousands of moments, stacked on top of each other through the power of consistency. Cristiano Ronaldo is a perfect example of this truth. He has scored unforgettable goals, broken countless records, and lifted trophies in the biggest stadiums of the world. But what makes him one of the greatest of all time is not one goal, one season, or one victory. It is the consistency with which he has performed at the highest level for nearly 2 decades. Year after year, he trained harder than anyone else, maintained his discipline, and refused to let success make him complacent. He did not just arrive at the top, he stayed there, and staying at the top is harder than reaching it. That consistency is what created his legacy. Consistency is powerful because it compounds. Every small effort repeated daily grows into something massive over time. The person who trains every day will always outperform the person who trains once in a while. The person who stays disciplined with their diet, their study, their craft, their vision, will surpass those who rely on bursts of motivation. Talent might win in the short term, but consistency wins in the long term. Greatness is not about what you can do once. It is about what you can sustain. Legacy is what people remember long after you are gone, and people do not remember random moments, they remember patterns. They remember the athlete who performed every season, the leader who showed up in every crisis, the artist who kept creating, the worker who kept delivering. Consistency is what builds trust, reputation, and influence. When people know you are reliable, when they know you will always show up, they begin to believe in you. That belief is what cements legacy. Consistency also builds mastery. You cannot become great at anything without repetition. Mastery requires endless practice, and practice requires consistency. Ronaldo did not become a master of free kicks or headers overnight. He practiced them for years, over and over, until they became natural. Every day, he repeated drills, workouts, and routines that most players found boring or tiring. That repetition is what turned him into a legend. Consistency is not exciting in the moment, but it creates excellence over time. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack consistency. They start strong but quit too soon. They work hard for a week but slack off for a month. They get motivated for a short burst, then disappear when it gets hard. Motivation is temporary, but consistency is permanent. If you rely only on motivation, you will fail when the excitement fades. But if you build consistency, you will keep moving forward regardless of how you feel. That is why champions are not the most motivated. They are the most consistent. Consistency also creates discipline. When you show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, you train your mind and body to obey your vision instead of your emotions. That discipline is what separates those who achieve from those who dream. The world is full of dreamers, but few are consistent enough to make those dreams real. Dreaming is easy, starting is easy, but showing up every single day for years, through pain, through failure, through setbacks, that is hard. And that is exactly why it creates legacy. Another truth about consistency is that it builds momentum. At first, progress feels slow. You may work for weeks or months without seeing results, but consistency keeps you moving forward, and eventually the results appear. Once momentum builds, your progress accelerates. Suddenly, people call you unstoppable, but in reality, you were simply consistent long enough for the world to notice. Ronaldo did not become a global icon overnight. It was years of consistent effort that made him unstoppable. Consistency is also what sustains greatness. Many people rise quickly, but just as quickly they fall. They achieve success once, but cannot repeat it. They get attention for a moment, but are forgotten soon after. Legacy is not about moments. It is about longevity. It is about staying relevant, staying excellent, staying hungry year after year. That is why Ronaldo's career is admired, because he did not just shine once. He kept shining, long after others faded. Legacy built on consistency also inspires others. When people see you show up day after day, when they see your discipline, when they see your results over time, they cannot help but be motivated. They realize that greatness is not magic. It is consistency. Your consistency becomes a model for others, proof that persistence beats everything. That influence, that ability to inspire, is part of your legacy. Consistency does not mean perfection. You will stumble, you will fail, you will have bad days, but consistency means you get back up and keep going. It means you do not let one failure become permanent. You do not allow setbacks to define you. You remain faithful to the process. That resilience is what creates greatness. Anyone can be consistent when things are easy. True consistency is proven when things are hard. One of the reasons consistency creates legacy is because time eventually reveals the truth. Many people can fake success for a short while. They can appear disciplined, motivated, or successful, but time exposes the truth. Only those who are consistent last. The world eventually forgets the ones who gave up, but it always remembers the ones who endured. When people look back at your life, they will not ask what you did once, they will ask what you did always. Consistency also demands sacrifice. To show up every day, you must give up comfort, distractions, and excuses. You must sacrifice laziness, temptation, and the easy path. Ronaldo sacrificed nights out, unhealthy food, and comfort so he could train and recover. He sacrificed popularity in exchange for professionalism. Those sacrifices made consistency possible, and consistency made his legacy undeniable. Your legacy is the story people tell about you when you are gone. Do they say you were talented but inconsistent, full of potential but undisciplined? Or do they say you showed up every day, no matter what, and built something unforgettable? That choice is yours, and it is made not once but daily. Every choice you make either builds consistency or breaks it. Every day is a brick in your legacy. Greatness is not measured by what you do once. It is measured by what you do always. Ronaldo's records are not from one season, but from decades of consistency. The same is true for every legend in history. They became unforgettable not because of one moment, but because of thousands of consistent moments. That is why consistency creates legacy. So do not chase perfection. Do not wait for the right moment. Do not rely on motivation. Focus on consistency. Show up every day. Work when no one is watching. Stay disciplined when others give up. Let your consistency build momentum, mastery, and character. And one day, when people look back at your life, they will not remember how talented you were or how motivated you felt. They will remember how consistent you were. Consistency creates legacy. Build yours today and build it every day until the story of your life becomes proof that persistence is the most powerful force of all. Never stop pushing the limits. The moment you accept boundaries as permanent, the moment you settle for what is comfortable, the moment you decide that you have done enough, you begin to shrink. Human potential has no fixed end point. What you can achieve today is only a fraction of what you could achieve tomorrow if you keep pushing. Limits are not walls meant to hold you in. They are checkpoints meant to be broken. Every great achievement in history is proof that someone refused to accept limits. They looked at what the world told them was impossible and answered with effort, sacrifice, and relentless belief. Cristiano Ronaldo's story is a living example of this mindset. From the time he was a young boy in Madeira, people told him his dreams were too big. He was too skinny, too emotional, too far from the world of elite football, but he never accepted those limits. He worked harder than anyone, sacrificed comforts that others enjoyed, and demanded more from himself every single day. Even after becoming one of the best players in the world, he never stopped pushing the limits. When he reached the top, he did not settle. He pushed further. He broke scoring records, he transformed his body, he adapted his style of play as he grew older, and he proved again and again that limits exist only to be surpassed. That is why his career inspires millions, because he embodies the truth that greatness is not found in comfort, but in the refusal to stop pushing. Pushing limits requires courage. It is easy to stay in the safe zone, where you know what to expect, where you cannot fail too badly, where everything feels comfortable. But growth never happens in safety. Growth happens at the edge, when you test yourself, when you stretch your abilities, when you walk into the unknown. The edge is scary because it carries risk. You may fail, you may stumble, you may fall, but that is the price of progress. Every time you push against a limit, you gain strength, knowledge, and resilience. Every time you refuse to accept comfort, you unlock more of your true potential. The danger of not pushing limits is stagnation. Many people achieve something once and then stop. They become satisfied and slowly they decline. They forget that life is always moving, and if you are not growing, you are shrinking. If you are not improving, you are falling behind. Pushing the limits keeps you sharp. It keeps you hungry. It keeps you alive. That hunger is what separates the legends from the forgotten. Ronaldo could have retired satisfied after his first Ballon d'Or or after winning trophies at Manchester United. But he did not. He pushed further, went to Real Madrid, broke records, won more titles, and then, even in the later stages of his career, continued to chase excellence. That hunger to push limits is why he built a legacy that will outlast him. Pushing limits is not just about physical effort. It is also about the mind. The biggest limits are mental. People convince themselves that they cannot go further, that they are not capable, that they do not deserve more. These mental limits are often stronger than any physical obstacle. When you believe a limit is real, you stop trying to go beyond it. But the truth is, most limits are illusions created by fear, doubt, and comfort. When you challenge those mental barriers, you realize you are capable of much more than you thought. That realization is liberating. It teaches you that the only real limits are the ones you accept. Obstacles along the way are not signs to stop. They are signals to push harder. Every time you face resistance, it means you are at the edge of growth. Pushing through that resistance expands your capacity. Just like muscles only grow when pushed to failure, the human spirit only grows when challenged beyond comfort. Failure itself is not the enemy. The enemy is refusing to try. Failure is feedback, fuel, and training. Every time you fail while pushing your limits, you learn, you adapt, and you become stronger. That cycle is what leads to breakthroughs. Consistency is also part of pushing limits. You cannot break boundaries with one burst of effort. You must push day after day. Limits bend slowly with relentless pressure. Ronaldo did not become great because of one training session. He became great because he repeated the work year after year without stopping. He pushed his body with strict diets, endless training, and unwavering discipline. He pushed his mind by refusing to listen to critics, by demanding more of himself even when others praised him. That kind of consistency is what makes pushing limits sustainable. It is not about one heroic moment. It is about thousands of small pushes that build into greatness. Another reason to never stop pushing limits is that it inspires others. When people see someone break boundaries, they start to believe they can too. Records in sports, business, or science are not just personal achievements. They expand what the world believes is possible. Before Ronaldo, few believed someone could score at such consistency across multiple leagues and decades. By pushing limits, he raised the standard for every footballer who came after him. Your own decision to keep pushing can have the same effect. You never know who is watching, who is learning, who will be inspired by your example. That is part of legacy. Your willingness to keep going gives permission for others to do the same. Never stopping also creates resilience. Life will test you with setbacks, injuries, losses, and failures. If you stop pushing at the first sign of pain, you will never discover your true strength. But if you keep pushing, even when it hurts, even when it feels hopeless, you build toughness that nothing can break. Ronaldo faced injuries, criticism, and even seasons when he was doubted. But each time, he came back stronger. He showed that the spirit to push beyond pain is what creates legends. It is important to understand that pushing limits does not mean recklessness. It means refusing to settle. It means constantly looking for the next challenge, the next improvement, the next opportunity to grow. It could be pushing one more rep in the gym, studying one more hour, writing one more page, practicing one more drill. It is not about giant leaps. It is about daily pushes that add up to extraordinary results. The people who never stop pushing are the ones who turn ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. The danger of comfort is that it feels good in the moment, but steals greatness in the long run. Comfort whispers, "You've done enough, rest now." But the truth is, comfort is a thief. It robs you of potential. It convinces you to accept mediocrity. Pushing limits feels hard in the moment, but it pays back in the future. Every sacrifice you make, every extra effort you give, every limit you refuse to accept becomes an investment in the life you truly want. Greatness is not a destination. It is a journey, and the journey never ends as long as you are alive. That is why you must never stop pushing limits. There is always more to learn, more to achieve, more to give. Ronaldo himself has often said that he always wants to improve, no matter how much he has already achieved. That is the mindset of greatness, the refusal to believe you are finished. The moment you stop pushing, you stop growing. The moment you stop growing, you stop living fully. So push your limits. Push when you are tired. Push when you are doubted. Push when you succeed, because success is not the end. It is only another beginning. Push when you fail, because failure is not the end. It is only another chance to rise. Push because you owe it to yourself to see how far you can really go. Never stop pushing the limits, because your true potential lies beyond them. And when you finally look back years from now, you will see that the legacy you built was not from comfort, not from excuses, not from settling, but from the relentless choice to keep pushing, no matter what.